You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Ooh, mountains, we gon' walk it out, and mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do.
You will rise up, you will rise up, you will rise up. It's a blessed day to present to you another edition of Lesson of Life series. In today's edition, we are looking at the subject, Rise Up and Think into the Future. Rise up and think into the future. On this note, let me take this honor to welcome you and also thank you for joining me on today's series. Rise up and think into the future. For how long will you keep looking back to the fear of what you have lost in the past? For how long do you want to keep holding on to that guilt from the past? For how long do you want to keep burdening yourself with sadness from the past? Beloved, rise up and think into the future. Rise up and think into the future. Have a projected plan ahead of you. Stop dwelling on a mistake from the past and let your thoughts be focused on what's ahead of you. It's true, you made that mistake from the past, and it was a terrible mistake. But how long do you want to hold on to that? How long do you want that to keep dragging you behind? Maybe you are not realizing it, but it's serving as a distraction to you. It's increasing the distance to reach your goal. It's pulling you away from reaching your goals. And if you don't take care, by the time you realize, you will still be standing at the same place where you are without a step forward. Rise up and think into the future. Stop focusing on a mistake that you've made from the past and think ahead. Think into the future and have a strategy to avoid repeating that same mistake. It's been past and gone, so don't go after it. Fine, you made that mistake in the past. It's gone. Let the past be the past. Focus on the present. Rise up and think into the future. You may have stumbled, but you haven't fallen. So rise up and think into the future. Rise up and think into the future. You can only understand life if you value the essence of the reason for having it. Do not abandon your goals. Do not abandon your ambitions because of a mistake from the past. Use every opportunity that you have today to create a possibility for tomorrow. So rise up and think into the future. Rise up and think into the future. Seize every opportunity that you have today and use that to create a possibility for the future. Do something today that your future self will be proud of. Do something today that will let your future self thank you. And the only way to do that is to rise up and think into the future. The only way to do something today and be proud of in the future is to realize that it's a waste of time to keep dwelling on the past. You made that mistake in the past. It's about time you let it go. It's about time you forget about that mistake and look ahead. It's about time you rise up and think into the future. Stop wasting your time. Stop paying attention to the distractions. Stop dwelling on a past mistake. You will always encounter them. They will always be in your way. Therefore, expect the distractions to come, but do your best to avoid them and think into the future. Life moves in a forward direction. You cannot correct or change the past, but you can certainly change the present to affect the future. So rise up and think ahead. Rise up and think into the future. You made that mistake. It was a terrible mistake to make, but at the end of the day, how long do you want that mistake to keep holding you back? Look beyond that mistake and think into the future. Think into the future. Create a possibility. Use every opportunity that you have today to create an opportunity for tomorrow. Do something today and let your future self be proud of. Rise up and think into the future. Do not let that mistake keep holding you back. If you keep dwelling on that past mistake, by the time you realize, you will still be standing at the same place where you are now. You will still be standing at the same place you started without even a step forward. So it's about time you realize that, fine, it's about time you embrace that mistake, but at the same time, let it go. Think into the future. Think into the future. There is more ahead of you. You can't change the past. You can't change the mistake that you made in the past. But the only thing you can change is that the experience that you've gained from the past, use that to impact the future. You made that mistake. Everyone saw it. It was a disgraceful one. But at the end of the day, how long do you want to keep holding on to that mistake? How long will you keep focusing on the past? How long will you keep dwelling on the past mistakes? How long do you want to keep dwelling on the fear from the past? Embrace the love for what you have found and rise up. Rise up and think into the future. There's more ahead of you. The future has more possibilities for you. So do not let a past mistake that you made pull you away from reaching your goal. Do not let your past failures distract you. The distractions will certainly come. Those are obstacles that you cannot control. So at the end of the day, all you have to do is accept that, fine, these distractions are coming my way. But regardless of what happens, I'm still going to maintain my focus. Regardless of what happens, I'll rise up and think into the future. Rise up and think into the future. In spite of all the mistakes that you've made, at the end of the day, you have stumbled, but you haven't fallen. So rise up and think into the future. Rise up and think into the future. Rise up and think into the future. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord guide you. And enjoy a blessed rest of the week. Thank you for joining me on this series. Thank you.